well, let's see. I'm going to tell everybody that before we do the city council meeting, we have what we call the Board of Commissioners for the City of Tucson on the Public Housing Authority. So with that, I'd like to perform a roll call, please.
Mr. Ibarra.
Here.
Mrs. West. Here. Mrs. Dunbar. Here. Mrs. Scott. Here. Mr. Leal. Mr. Ronstadt. Here. Ms. Payne. Here. Mayor Walkup.
Here. Let me see. Very well. Item 2.
Community Services Department, certification of a public housing assessment system to the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2004. Report from City Manager, resolution number PHA 2004-007.
But no, we have a call to the audience after we do some of these administrative things. It'll be a 1/2 hour, and we'll have quite a number of people.
Ms. Bernal, I've already asked the mayor that when we get to this issue, if he would allow me to call on you so you can speak. That's already in the works.
City Manager's communication number 492, dated September 13, is received into and made part of the record. Before we begin, staff has a brief presentation.
Members of the Board of Commissioners, annually, as part of your role as the Public Housing Commission, you are asked to authorize us to submit electronically to HUD our annual financial statement and various reports about our management operation for the year. And so that is the purpose of this agenda item.
Very well. What is the Commission's pleasure? Councilman Leal.
Mr. Mayor, if we could, before the council votes or discusses this, Ms. Judy Bernal, I know, is present and would like to engage us on this issue. And if you're open to that, I would like to give her 5 minutes. Over.
No more than that. And what I'm here about is specifically this. The most needy people in Tucson are the least able to comply with the regulations to get public housing. I had occasion recently to advocate for a disabled family member who is a tribal member and a long-standing citizen of this community. Got disabled, got on the list, got up to number 57, turned a form in late, and went down to number 3,300. I got interested, and I was able to locate 13 disabled Native people who all had similar stories. They were on the list. They were turned down for some really stupid reasons. I do want you to know that sometime in the last couple years you made a regulation that you cannot get into the projects, public housing, without good credit. That might have sounded nice. You wanted people that paid their rent. A lot of people get to this point because they've had medical problems, divorce, domestic violence. To put something on poor people like good credit was just beyond belief. There's no one. I met with Miss Nottingham. That everyone's been really nice about talking about this. One of the problems is if you're on the list, there really isn't anyone that's empowered to help you. If you're on public housing and you have a problem, you have a caseworker. One of the things that's turning down several of these folks, and these are people in wheelchairs that have lived here 40 and 50 years, city court fines for stupid things. But if you owe a court fine and you go down right now and you don't have all the money, you go straight to jail. There is no deal cutting. And we spoke about perhaps having someone in housing have a liaison with city housing. Again, I mentioned just the ridiculous number 57 to number 3,300 was mind-boggling. Another thing that I came in contact with was an organization called Metropolitan Housing Corporation, and I can assure you, I can document where they refuse to add Native Americans to their leases. They've evicted people for minor infractions. I managed departments in this town for years. I worked for a real estate attorney. You work with people. That's what you do with folks. And I would like you to give some directive to community services to reassess the draconian regulations that are prohibiting native Tucsonans who are disabled and ill and haven't done anything wrong other than a city court ticket. Let's get these folks off the street. After all, most of them are in the inner city, and it's very ironic to me to be in Rio Nuevo and to watch people literally living at the Circle K while all of this development goes on. I don't think it speaks for quality of life. I think we can fix this, and I will leave you with this. Metropolitan Housing Corporation offered my children, Joaquin, and my daughter Celina, and myself $1,000 each to shut our mouth. You know what? This is more important. I would like to continue this with community services. I will, and I am not here on my behalf. I own a home, but this is just reprehensible what's going on, and again, these are all tribal members. Thank you very much.
Very well, Councilman Scott.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass resolution number PHA 2004-007.
Been moved, seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Your Honor, first I'm going to read this resolution by number and title only. This is resolution number PHA 2004-007 relating to community services, authorizing and directing the City of Tucson Community Services Department to certify to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, its standing on financial and management indicators required under the Public Housing Assessment System Program, PHAS, as of fiscal year ending June 30, 2004, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Ibarra? Aye. Mrs. West? Aye. Mrs. Dunbar? Aye. Ms. Scott?
Aye.
Mr. Leal? Mr. Ronstadt? Aye. Ms. Payne? Aye. Mayor Walkup?
Aye. Passes 8-0. Item 3.